Hey guys, welcome back to the doremicom channel. We're here with Season 3, Episode 3 of the RTD, Part 1, entitled, basically, how to make a successful gaming store. In the Raleigh-Durham area, we have 7 local gaming stores that I'm aware of. There might even be more. When I lived in the D.C. area, I never saw more than 3. How can an area with a much smaller population keep that many stores in business? It's because the stores here do it right. I spent some time at 5 of the 7 stores jotting down notes on what seems to work for them. We'll talk about this and more in this episode. With me today is my panel, starting with Jeremiah Driggers and his last U.S. RTD appearance.
What's up, fellas?
And Tony from the Sustainable Center.
I'm looking less than sexy tonight.
Bootleg. And the co-host, Alan Smurf.
It's all right, Tony. I'm bringing sexy back.
Nice. All right, so this is a little bit confusing because for all the questions, the first 10 questions that we're going to ask today, no 2 questions can have the same numeric value. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 20, we're out of our 1 to 10 area. 1 being 1 to 5 being more or less a detraction, 6 to 10 being really unimportant, 11 to 20 being the absolute key to the store success and in order. So if I give it something at 20 and then something at 17, guess what? That 20 is more important. How important is it that a gaming store have regular events? And with this, we're going to start off with Jeremiah Driggers.
Hold regular events. I'd give that pretty high on the list, probably around 18. It's important for them to have something going on all the time, either free gaming, open gaming, or some kind of event happening in the afternoon. So, or on the weekends, excuse me. So that's pretty high on the list. Give it 18.
All right, Tony, what's your thoughts?
20. I mean, if I'm not going to my store to actually utilize the product in which I'm purchasing, then I might as well just order it online. The store doesn't really have any use to me. And from what I've seen in this area, the stores that have regular events have more customers.
All right, Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's got to be real high up there on the list. If you don't have something going on, what's the draw? So I'd say probably 18, 19.
No, you got to pick one.
19.
All right.
I give this an 11 because the key word there is regular. That means often on a regular basis. I think if they had one every now and then, that's cool. People are going to be gaming regardless. They don't have to have an event to be gaming. They're just going to game.
All right. I actually gave it a 20 as well, just like Tony. Basically, your events bring your customers in the store. They make the kind of brash purchases that come with this particular hobby. Holding a regular event, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a big deal of an event, but making sure that people know that these are the days to do X, Y, and Z, and really flaunting what the store actually sells. 20. And this will actually tie later into my overall strategy for the gaming stores. But let's talk about the next item. Did we want any continued discussion regarding this, or should we just go ahead, ask all the questions, and we'll have like a big debate at the end?
Yes. Running the show.
Lovely. All right. So we're not going to debate these questions. Like having the panel suggestions here.
I give it a 5.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so the next thing. Okay, so how important is it that a gaming store have an online store? And for this, we're going to start with Tony from the Sustainable Center.
I'm going to say 15. I mean, it's a way to reach your market that's not in your immediate, let's say, 25-mile bubble, because who's going to go more than 25 miles? But it also then creates a conflict of interest between your customers coming in and not coming in. I've seen Sci-Fi Genre in the area do well with it, but I've seen a lot of stores in the local area, like the Gamers Armory, who don't have an online store. It makes me actually want to go to the store to see what's there. So I'm going to give it a 15.
All right. Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
See, this one gets me because my favorite store just closed last month. And I've been trying to get him to open up an online store, and he wouldn't do it. And now he's gone. and it's a crush to our area. I think it is a pretty high importance these days. 10 years ago, no, but nowadays more people order online, and I think it would help keep the business open. I'm going to say probably a 15.
All right. We won't say probably. We'll make you say 15. Next, Smurf.
I gave this a 19. They have to have, you have to have an online store. With the way the electronic age is going, the power of the credit card, to stay afloat, boom, it's raining outside. I don't want to get on my car. Order online. Thank you very much. I think brick and mortar is a have to, but to really flourish as a business, you have to have an online store.
All right, Jeremiah Driggs, what's your thoughts?
I put this one right in the middle at a 10, and here's the reason why. We have a lot of stores in this area that do not have an online store, and they do perfectly fine. But where I used to work at Lone Star here in the area, and them having an online store has brought in more revenue with those from that online store than the 5 stores combined. So I can see where it can be really a big plus for a store, but it doesn't necessarily hold weight as far as them succeeding. I think there's other areas that they can make up for that slack in, I guess you could say.
All right, I'm going to give it a 12, and the reason is that, unfortunately, the online marketing area has really kind of almost been saturated. You have your major online retailers that you're going to go to, your miniature market, your sci-fi genre, and these are stores that people have already come to rely on. And yes, they're not local, so you're not really helping out your local gaming stores, but in reality, while it's an interesting additional revenue stream, the amount of time and energy that you would have to push to get your online store to be noticed is going to be severely dropping discounts on your product, and then you're going to again have that conflict of interest of, hey, I'm coming into your store and I'm seeing that I could buy it much cheaper online, which then again detracts from people wanting to come to your events. So I'm going to give it a 12. And we are moving on to our next question. Again, we're not debating this right now. Number 3, how important is it that a gaming store diversify its gaming stock? And for this, we're going to start off with bootleg painting.
Now, are you talking about having a little bit of everything? Is that what we're talking about, or?
Is it diversification across product sets like Magic the Gathering and Games Workshop and Battlefront and everything, or diversification in terms of Games Workshop's wall? I think that's what Dale wants to know.
I'm talking about multiple game sets.
This is another high one. I'm going to say a 17. I see stores that, they'll order you anything you want, but when you want it, you want it. You don't want to have to wait. If I got to wait, I can order it online and wait. It is hard on some of the game store owners, such as like the Armory. He had a ton of stuff that he had bought that nobody was interested in. It's not like he can just return it. So, if you don't have the bankroll, it's kind of hard to do that. But, yes, what I say, 17?
Okay. Solid.
I gave this one a 9. I felt that if you look, I look in my area and I know if I want to go play one game, I go to this store. If I want to go to one game, I play one game, I go to that store. They don't have, there's not one store to rule them all, and not everyone's going to have every game ever created. I think if they have a core of like 3 games, that's going to saturate their market of customers, and it'll be just fine. They need some, but they don't need, every game ever created, because people aren't going to focus on 1 or 2 games unless you're like you.
Like me. Right. Jeremiah, what's your thoughts?
I'd say I'd give this one a 15. I think it's important, though, that they find that balance. You need to diversify your stock in order to bring in as many people as you can to your store and catch people coming in doing different games. But it's also important, like Dale said, that you not go too far and stretch yourself too thin and getting in games that just aren't important. So I think it is important, but you need to find that balance, and I give it a 15.
All right, Tony, what's your thoughts?
I'm giving this a 10. I mean, I think you need to have 2 or 3 to have a little bit of diversification. But really, each game system you carry has to turn its own profit margin. And if anything's breaking even or making a loss, then why are you truly carrying it? Now, the more you diversify, like board games and different types of games, you can get different pockets of different customers that only come in for different things. And they might not cross product lines. But if each game system's not making a profit for you, then you have to really ask yourself why you're carrying it. So, 10.
All right. I'm giving this a 13, and the reason is that basically putting all your eggs into a small amount of baskets can often lead to kind of a bad ripple effect if someone, completely changes the way their models are made and you have problems with customer satisfaction regarding a particular set of games, or if the rules are bad. This, making sure that basically it kind of falls in line with my idea of the 20 being for regular events. Maybe have as many games that you actually have days of the week. Beyond that, probably not that important. Again, like some of these other guys have said, if you end up trying to go with too many games, you're always going to find that group who, is always wanting to buy that model that you haven't actually stocked, and you can't carry the stock of everything. Next question. Here we go. And I don't have them written down, so I don't know why I went there. Okay, here we go. Okay, how important is it that a gaming store have lots of gaming area? Okay, so basically, a huge store, tons of tables, is that important? And for this, we're going to start with Solid Smurf.
I give this one a 12. It's pretty important. I think 4 tables is plenty. You don't need 10 tables. You're not going to have that many people in there at any given time, but you don't want just one table and everyone has to fight over it. I think, it's right in the middle. It's not I know hobby shops that do just fine without, they have 3 tables and they do just fine. And I know other ones that have 6 tables and they do just fine. So I don't think you have to have a whole lot of tables to be good, but I think they are important.
All right, Jeremiah, what's your thoughts?
I think I'm going to agree with Smurf on this one. I'll probably give it a 13. I think it is important to devote as much space as you possibly can to gaming, to open gaming and free gaming. I think it would be nice for you to be able to accommodate, 10 tables if you could, but a lot of stores aren't going to be able to do that. I think if you could do anything over, like he said, 4, you're looking that way. Nobody's fighting over the tables, like Smurf said, but most stores aren't going to be able to accommodate a mass amount of tables. So I think it's important, but not so important. So like I said, maybe a 13 on this one.
Jeremiah and Smurf really have to come to Raleigh sometime. Tony, what's your thoughts?
I'm giving it a 17 only because I used 20 and I only have 18 and 19 for 2 other questions. The store needs to, it needs to be to draw you there and attract you. And it's not just enough to have, hold regular events. You have to have a space to hold regular events, and that's going to require a lot of tables. Now, what's a lot? It depends on how much customers you're going to have coming in, but that space is very important. You should really figure out how to mobilize it and pack it away when you don't need it, but deploy it when you do need it. But it's a 17. It's incredibly important to have that because that's how you support question 1, holding regular events.
Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
It's very important to have a space. I would say a 16. My one suggestion is have it in another area. One of our stores here has a back room where 3/4 of their tables are. They have a couple tables up in the front, but they have most of it in the back. That because gamers are going to get excited. They're back there, and you got people coming in trying to shop. You got these guys acting crazy. If at all possible, have it in another area. But it is very important to have some sort of room.
All right, Tony's been stealing my my answer sheet because I gave it a 17 as well. And I'm actually going to disagree with Bootleg. I think you should pretty much have it up front, kind of close to where everything is going on. Because, again, people who are coming in and unfamiliar with gaming series can immediately go, ooh, that model looks cool. That card game looks cool. That I'm seeing people have fun. I want to have fun. Here's my money. So I think it is at 17. And again, like Tony said, it's really there to support the very, very regular events that are occurring at your store, getting a lot of that traffic in for those impulse purchases. Because let's be honest here, guys, I don't need models to survive. I need food. I need shelter. I need water. I don't need models. I don't need games. But
what kind of gamer are you?
But when games look fun, I need it. I need it right now. Here's my money. Give me the game.
You feel like, games? Yeah.
Yeah, put rent in front of games.
Look down that pewter, shoot it right into your bed.
It's a real shame we don't have everyone on the screen. You'd see Smurf shooting up the game. All right, so there you go. How important is it? Question number 5. How important is it that a gaming store sell non-hobby related merchandise or services? And we're going to start back up at the top with Jeremiah Drigg.
I'm going to put this really low, non-hobby related. Most of the time, whenever I see those in hobby store or in gaming stores, those have sat there forever and are collecting dust. So I give that a 5.
All right, Tony, what's your thoughts?
I'm going to give it an 8. I mean, part of it tells me, and from this local area, people eat it all the time. You have all regular events. People will buy your popcorn and your soda and all the other things. However, when there's so much of it, if it doesn't have a dedicated space and it's taking up from where you really make your money, which is your product, and this is your sub-product area, it kind of tells me I'm not good at selling my real stuff. I'm good at selling candy bars. So it kind of sends a mixed message to me. So I'm going to give it an 8. You can do it, but, I mean, it shouldn't be primary and taking up half your tables.
All right, Dale, what's your thoughts?
I want to say an 11, but I kind of disagree with Tony. That pop and stuff, if you have to go to the store, you're leaving my store. I want to keep you there. That's the only reason I would sell pop and stuff like that, is just so they're not leaving. Just convenience factor.
All right, Smurf, what's your thoughts?
I gave this a 3. And I have no idea why. It just got 3 question marks next to it, so I'm going to roll with it. 3, because I can.
All right. I am going completely polar opposite of everyone else. I gave it a 19. I'm going to tell you why.
Did you already give a 19?
No.
Did he just break his own rules?
I didn't give it a I gave a 20,
okay, I thought
12,
you did.
a 13, and a 17.
Okay,
now I'm giving
sure.
it a 19. All right, and why am I giving it a 19? It is exactly the snacks, the sodas, the waters, the whatever, because they keep people in the store all day long. It makes your events look popular, makes people want to come back and play. It does keep people from leaving the store, like Bootleg said. It also gives something for someone who's already bought everything they could possibly need for their game to pay you money. Okay, let's look at the movie theater world. Okay, movie theaters aren't really making a whole lot of money on ticket sales. They're making it on their freaking hot dogs, sodas, popcorn, and all that kind of garbage. That is where the movie theaters are still making their profit. That is where you, as a potential store owner, can make your mark as well. Keep the people in the store happy and content, eating the munchies, playing your games, making your stuff look fun, enticing other people who have not joined the hobby to go, ooh, they're having fun. Let me buy some of that. And while I'm here, I'll grab my Diet Coke. Okay.
Just be prepared to clean up.
Diet Coke. Well, no.
Property damage.
You're going to have pop bottles everywhere.
No.
Soda on the gaming tables. I've seen it.
Nah.
Yes.
Nah, just have enough trash cans.
I'm agreeing with Tony.
You're going to be good to go. All right, so how important is it that a gaming store be centrally located within a city or town? And for this, that is question number 6, and we are going straight over to Tony from the Sustainable Center. He's probably going to give it a 20.
No, I'm not going to give it a 20. I'm going to give it a 15. I think location's incredibly important, but it doesn't need to be centrally located. Centrally located also means top property costs. I mean, these are the boardwalks and the park places of locations, and you got to be profitable. So I think located to like next to a pizza place I've seen, and other food areas, because I don't believe you can carry all the food in the world. It depends on where it is in the strip mall. It can't be in some back corner somewhere in the middle of nowhere, but it can't be also an expensive location because again, we need a large footprint of space to store all of our stuff, all of our product, and have a huge gaming area. So I say a balance. So 15, it's important, but you don't have to put it on Central Ave or Central Square of every town.
All right, Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
6. If you're good, you're going to pull people from wherever. I've got people from half the state away that comes to see me.
Or
they're driving 2
away.
hours. Right. So
not even for a tattoo. That's how popular it is.
Tony's right. The closer to populated areas or good areas, the rent is going to be 2 to 3 times as expensive. I know because I've looked at commercial property to get close to the shopping mall, double. So yeah, but it's not that important.
What was the number you gave it?
I think I said 6.
All right. Yeah. Smurf, what's your thoughts?
I gave this a 10 because it's like an ace. It can work both ways. It's not about if you're in a city or in there. It's like Tony said, it's location. As long as you pay attention to that, you're good.
All right. I don't know what that means. Jeremiah Drigg.
I'll give this one 11. I really agree with Tony on this. If you can't really be in the high property areas. We have a store that's here that's right outside of Grapevine, which is the big, place over here. The mall, everything has everything there. But there's a place that's just outside of Grapevine that does well. I mean, it is probably one of the better stores to go to. And it's not, I wouldn't call it centrally located. I mean, you kind of have to go off the beaten path a little bit to get to us. So I'll give this one an 11.
All right. There's a lot of 11s going around. I'm continuing the trend. I gave an 11 as well. I agree completely with Tony. You got to avoid the high retail price of the retail space. Avoid malls because the same people who are going for Orange Julius's and going for Black Friday shopping at Sears and Macy's are not going to care about your tabletop hobby. They're just not. Okay, so avoid the mall expense, go find a huge area. Now, I got to be honest with you, we do have one local store who has brilliantly placed themselves directly behind a Harris Teeter, and it's only by word of mouth that anyone knows that it's there, but it is beautifully centrally located to a lot of different people, and man, the events are completely packed. So what I will say is focus on the cost, the expense of where you're going, focus on getting a larger space, and don't be so far away from everyone that you can't hold events, because then you really need to be that online retailer instead of the local gaming store. And with that, we are going to end part 1. I know there has been a lot of debate going on, but here's the trick, okay? In the middle of the next episode, we're actually going to have one additional question that my panel is now hearing for the first time, and that is that taking the top 5 of the things that we talked about, that they rated, and explain what their strategy is about how they would create a local gaming store. So here we're going to pause, and we'll come back.